Philippe, good to see you. Thanks for your time as ever. Let's start with Jack Stacey. Obviously saw him go off last weekend with a hamstring injury. What can you tell us about the extent of that injury?
That it's not a long-term one, but it's too early now to put him in the game. So he's not training with the squad yet. But we hope to recover him during the week to come. That's the plan. If it's a few days later, it's always dangerous to say that short-term things, but it doesn't seem to be a long-term thing, but we're going to miss him this game.
And I guess, given how stretched you are in full-back areas anyway, you're going to have to come up with some different solutions there, and I guess we saw that last weekend, didn't we, in terms of what one of those potential solutions could look like with Rory moving to right-back.
Yeah, we need to be creative for the moment, in those positions, also in other positions maybe. But like I said from the beginning, I don't want to be the guy who speaks all the time about problems. I'm here and my work is to find solutions. So we've been working on that, to find solutions and to play the same kind of style of football with all squad, whoever is playing, that it's really recognizable for everybody. That's why from the first day, also the injured players were in every meeting. About opponents, about how we want to play. So the moment they step in, that they understand the story also and that they can put it faster into practice. So it's a major thing for me.
I mean, on a positive note, you said last week you were hoping there would be some more faces into training this week. Has that happened? Have you got a few more of those injured guys coming back?
Not a few. So Anis is back, Slimane, so he will be on the bench. So I'm saying a lot already about the squad. The rest, Ben trained the first time today with the group, so he felt good, but of course we need to build that story, and I expect 2 or 3 others to come back on Sunday in the training. We will see. So slowly people are coming back, but of course you cannot throw them directly into games if they come out of an injury, so we need to build something there.
I think you said last week that Lucien Movo had trained the Friday. Has he continued to train this week, or again is he another one you're having to be very careful with?
We need to be careful with him also with the history he had before, so it's slowly building with him.
Cool. And in terms of that, I guess it's been probably a bit of a luxury to have a full week of training. It's been a lot of games since you've come into the building. Has it been nice to have that period to work with the players? Yeah,
it's also a part that I like and that I love. To work with the players on the pitch, to go into details, not only in meetings but really on the pitch. So of course it helps. They had also a good physical load. They had a good training week. Some looked really tired during the week, but that's what we want now, and it's about creating some freshness towards this game, of course, that you don't do crazy things today. But the engagement of the team was really, really good. So I'm happy how this week has gone. But of course, the main thing stays the games. And I know it will never be a linear progression, that it goes up and up and up. But every time I want to see the foundation that we're building, that it stays stable, that we don't make mistakes around that, and the other details, that it becomes better and better and more fluent. So hopefully we can keep this group of players together and get others in and make this group stronger and stronger, that I have difficult choices to make towards starting 11. For the moment, I have a few, but not enough like I wanted.
What is that challenge like? Because I think you said a few times there, you spoke about the foundations and the house, and you want to build layers to this. Do you have to be careful at how quickly you go with that and how much information you give the players at once? Because I can imagine if you give them too much, that can almost be quite damaging. You have to, like you say, build it up slowly.
Yeah, totally, and that's also an individual thing. So you need to see, you need to feel, you need to get to know the players better, who needs a lot of information, which one needs less, but everybody needs quite a lot for the moment. But a positive thing is it's clearly inside the building that everybody stepped into the story. I feel a very positive vibe with everybody going for their maximum about every detail we talk about or train. But also all the staff, they see that the players are really with a good vibe, with learning, becoming better, becoming stronger, technically, tactically, physically, mentally. And I think the fans saw that also in the last games, that every game has been better. So I'm every time curious what it gives towards the next game. So it's a different challenge away to Watford, team who's really good on the ball, clearly with a Spanish coach and a way of playing, really good ideas. Also a team that worked a few months together or much longer together than we are doing. So how can we react to that? That's now the next test, but I'm looking forward to that.
I was going to actually use the word engaged there, and I think we saw that in the 2 home games last week, that there was a response and a change in the way you wanted to play. Have you seen that change, even though these players in a short period of time, about how they are buying into what you're trying to do? And I mean, you mentioned the application.
Yeah, but I cannot compare from before, and it's also not important. Like I said in the beginning, it's everybody starts with a white page about wanting to do things, about application of the players. I don't have anything bad to say about anybody for now. So we need to continue like that with all the group, and to see these hungry people who have the desire to become better every day, as an individual, but as a group of players also. I've seen good things becoming better and better the last few games. So I want to see confirmation of that again and building on the other things that we worked on this week.
Just one question, obviously, about the staff change that happened this week. Declan Rudd stepping up as head of goalkeeping, clearly someone we know well and has come through the club from being a very young boy to playing and now obviously working as well. How easy a decision was that for you to kind of push him up into that role with Tony Roberts' departure?
It's never an easy decision. First, the decision of Tony was made before I came. So I knew that situation already. That Tony was going to leave and he had another option that he chose for. So I knew that situation already. So we were looking for solutions, and we talked with Tony about that. And I have to say, I'm really grateful about Tony in these 2 weeks together, the way he was engaged also in the story and motivated and helping in everything. And he spoke really highly of Declan. So we had a few talks with Declan also about philosophy, way of working. I think it's also good that he knows the club. He knows the goalkeepers also. So I think it's a logical step.
And with his history with the club, is that a big factor for you? Because I know you did a similar thing at Rangers, didn't you, with Alex Ray and bringing him in. Is that something you like to have as part of your staff?
Yeah, I of course. We need to build a family together, so you need to know also all the members of the family as fast as possible. With people like Declan, this can help. He knows what this club is about, the history of the club. It's also important towards a group of players, and for sure, like now, when you have a lot of new players who don't have the history of the club yet, that there are people in the staff who can explain things about what this club is about. So Declan has for sure a lot of stories to tell.
Absolutely. Do you envisage any more changes to your staff, or are you sort of still assessing that and working?
No, we're still assessing. We're fully assessing everything together with the owners, with Ben, to make this project. It's our mission to make it as strong as possible. And it's not only about changes now, it can be in 6 months, it can be in 1 year. Everybody has the same ambition, and that's to go to a certain level where we all aligned about where we want to get with this club. You need the right people in the right place for that, and it will be constantly evaluation around those things also, next about the player squad also.
I think this week you got to meet Marc Attanase. I don't know if that was the first meeting
in live, yes.
In real life. I mean, how nice was that? Because it's something, isn't it, seeing someone over a screen and speaking to them, but actually seeing them in the flesh. How were those talks for you?
Very good, and confirmation what I felt in this first long meetings that we had before I came. It was a major point also to make this decision. So confirmation, we talked about a lot of things, about the club, about the infrastructure, about the players, about how the first 2 weeks went, about the games. So you feel that they're very motivated to bring this club where everybody wants it to be. And we're really aligned. And I feel really as an important part of that story and where they want to get. So, yeah, it's confirmation about the first talks, the same.
He was full of praise for you at the AGM in the week, and spoke about the fact that it is about the here and now, clearly, and getting the club out of the situation that it's in, but it's also the long-term vision for them, and that clearly is where you guys are aligned. You see this in the years ahead rather than just in the games ahead.
Yes, clearly, and there are a lot of things that we can make better all together. It's not me, it's everybody together, and that's the main thing now. I feel it in everybody who's working in the club, that they have that ambition, and we need to keep that. Also in the moments where things go wrong or you don't get the result that you wanted, not to start to tremble and to shake, but to keep on going what we are doing, and with a clear vision and a clear plan how to get there. So with the support of the owners, I'm really sure that this will happen. And they are really motivated to get the club to that place. That I felt again during the week. And like you said, in live it's even more strong. It's even stronger than when it's on video. But still, I made the decision also after the video talks we had.
And I can imagine for a coach as well, having owners that you're aligned with, that you understand and that you're on the same page of is really important, because we could, I think, talk about plenty of clubs where that's not the case. So how big is that as in your decision to come here, the fact that you've got owners who are on the same page as you?
It's crucial in modern football because there are so many people from outside who live to be critical about everything that's happening in football, because they're not in the clubs anymore. So it's easy to have critics about everybody. It's also then responded to your own fans who start to live that life. You need to have a clear plan and look at all the clubs in the world who have structurally stayed at the highest level and be successful long term. And I don't speak about 5 years, but about 20, 30 years. All clubs who had a clear vision and work together along with a manager and a board together, also in the moments when it got tough, and not to be, okay, we replace again and we start a new story totally over again. So I felt it from the first minute, and it was one of the major things for me also to make this decision to come and to build something really strong here. I feel also with the people, with the fans also, that there's a lot of desire in this club to get back to the level where they were before. So I'm also really ambitious to go as high as possible.
Just one question about last weekend, not so much the result, but one player in particular, Philippe Clement, who it was a really impressive performance. I think most people felt that. He was a player that there was a bit of a long pursuit for in the summer. We haven't quite seen that performance of him as yet. It maybe hasn't been the start that he wants. I know you've spoken about how difficult it is for players to adapt. How important can that be to have a performance like that, just for his own confidence and for sort of the belief within himself that he can perform in that way in this league?
Yeah, but like I said last time, you need to have the belief before the performance. You cannot get belief out of a performance, because if you don't have belief, the performance will not come. So the belief was there. From his side, I spoke also with him about what I saw in the past in his old team, what I didn't see yet here, and he responded really well on the pitch and showing also the qualities why the club recruited him. Because he was showing before a player with a lot of energy, running around a lot, going into duels, but he didn't show enough for me the qualities with the ball that he has. So it will only get better with playing more and more games, when things become more and more natural for them about the picture, when they have the ball, what are the options that they have in the midfield, what are the runs, what is the timing of the runs. So the more and more they play together, the better he will get.
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask you about, because with these foundations you speak about, and you've said you kind of want stability, it's going to be about partnerships forming. Do you feel there's a real partnership that could form there between Kenny and Pelle in midfield?
Yes, but I don't want partnerships only that. We have, for example, a really good player with Jacob also, who can play in that position. So it doesn't mean that I build a partnership now and the story of Jacob is finished. No, we need, it's not only what I want, but we need as a team to be successful, that we can change players. With the amount of games, we need to have a certain rotation in the squad. So they all need to be ready to have this partnership on the field. And not only two players together, but different ones who come in, who go out, and that we change. But that for everybody, it's more for me that it's recognizable for them what they do together on the pitch. And it's not only between two players, with everybody around them in every situation. So we need to create a team whatever happens, we have players who know what job to do, their position, and even another position that they can fill in because they know what to do there. And that's our goal. That's the only way to become successful long term and to be successful during a full season with all the amount of games that we have.
Just final couple, I mean, you spoke about Watford earlier and their strengths on the ball. They've got a strong home record. Does it feel a good test for kind of how much progress your team is making tomorrow and how well they can cope with a team like that?
Yeah, we will have a lot of tests the next couple of months. So it's going to be really interesting for me to see how everybody reacts in every situation. It's my job also, together with the staff, to see that every reaction becomes better and better and better, and that players are confident on the pitch, but also really hard-working, resilient, fighting every second that they're on the pitch until the last second of the game, that they create a mentality when you go behind, that we know that even in 2-3 minutes we can change the game and score 2 goals. Those are all experiences that they need to get in the next couple of months to grow as a team. And for myself, my experience in football is all the teams that I played in and were the best teams together, or that I managed were the best teams together, they were all at least 1.5 years together. At least, because then you came through all this cycle of different experiences, learning out of that, learning together, the communication around and the reactions around. So that's the job to do, to create a consistency in the group, in their reactions, in every emotional part of football, and not to live as fans in the emotions, but to learn to react fast. And that in football, the most important thing is always, after you do something wrong, how you react. That's a really important thing. So another test tomorrow against Watford.
And final one, I'm sure you know, another sold out away end. You've spoken about synergy with the fans a lot of times. They've clearly taken to you already, and what you're trying to do with this team. The fact that so many of them are willing to travel away to support the team, that must be really encouraging to you, to what you're trying to build here with that.
No, that's top, and it's all credit to them, because even in Birmingham, after the bad series of results, and when they were not happy, they were there, all of them, with 2,000. And now again in a away game, they will be with a lot there. So we need to give something back to the fans. And that's my aim, together with the players. The players did it. I think it was really positive also after the Oxford game, where we didn't get the result that we wanted, but still a lot of fans stayed in the stadium to applaud the players. There was, for me, yes, really fast, but their synergy back, because the fans see the players are doing everything to win the game. They will make mistakes, but they do everything to win the game. And then, of course, if you win, it was a really great atmosphere in the stadium after the QPR game. So that's my fuel, to have those evenings and to see the happiness of all the people. So I hope to get a lot of fuel the next couple of months.